Our next group has been helping people build confidence and connections through movement since 1954. Representing Western Bay of Plenty District, please give a warm welcome to Puke Gymsport.
Kanui te mihi, kia koutou haukainga. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Judges, I would like to introduce to you Sarah and Jane, who will present to you the Western Bay award-winning presentation. Sarah and Jane, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Sarah Elliott and this is my colleague Jane Mackay. We're the joint presidents of Te Puke Gymsport. We feel incredibly privileged to be amongst such amazing volunteers that give so much for your local communities.
Our story is all about volunteers. It is a story of love and passion over many, many years.
Once upon a time, in 1954 Te Puke, in the Western Bay of Plenty, there was a young girl called Jocelyn Boyle. At 6 years old, she spent most of her time upside down. Her dad had had lots of fun doing gymnastics at school and thought the local children would benefit from a club. Jocelyn was over the moon as she was able to start to do skills to impress her friends. Do you know where the club started?
Yes, it was in McDowell's Hall behind the flower shop in the High Street. It grew rapidly but had little equipment.
There must have been a few volunteers. What did they get up to?
Yes, lots of parents got involved. They put up the equipment and put it down again after each session. They also got involved in coaching.
And how about Jocelyn?
Jocelyn did her gymnast award badges. She finished training and started to coach.
The 1970s were fun. The children were still using the room behind the flower shop until it burnt down. Then they had to move to the local memorial hall.
And the club volunteers introduced boys to the club, so men's gymnastics was started.
Was this when they started to compete properly?
That's right. The volunteers took them around the region to take part in competitions. Jocelyn was training her daughter, plus teaching men's and women's gymnastics.
In the 1980s, the volunteer numbers grew to 20. They helped with coaching, judging competitions, and moving that heavy equipment in and out.
The club also helped to introduce the Bay of Plenty Gymnastics Association.
Yes, and they also introduced trampoline, ballet and rhythmic gymnastics. The amazing volunteers were great at bringing things into the community that they wanted to do.
Jocelyn, who was coaching at the time, volunteered herself for the club committee. The club outgrew its home and moved to Te Puke High School Hall.
The 1990 records show that Jocelyn had a little break and retired for a year or so until her grandchildren joined the club.
And in 1996, Wayne Cobb trialled for the New Zealand Olympic team, a massive achievement for a little volunteer-run club. Te Puke police were having trouble with young boys. They popped in one day and asked if the club could help. The volunteers came up with parkour. This is a training discipline using movement that developed from military obstacle course training. As a positive way for them to use their energy, it kept the teenagers off the streets perfectly. Soon the club became the largest parkour centre in the Bay of Plenty with over 90 athletes.
In 2009, the club committee took a huge risk. They moved into a large commercial warehouse. Some of the volunteers actually had to underwrite the lease, and some of them didn't think it would work, so they actually left the committee. It was a big move, but the club needed a huge space to accommodate the waiting lists.
And with all this good stuff going on, the volunteers needed to define the club's direction. This was when they developed the mission statement. It was designed to connect with volunteers and participants and bring more people into the club.
So today, science has finally caught up with us. The skills that we teach are now researched and recognised as the basis of movement for all sports and recreation activities. Our coaches are developing skills for a life of activity for all ages and all stages.
We run events that bring school children from all over the Bay of Plenty, and our programmes are for everyone, including people with disabilities and special needs.
Our Extend Youth Leadership coaches give back to the young ones through our Coach Apprenticeship programme. And our volunteer committee is always focused on the club, the participants and the future.
So let's see what we look like.
Hi, I'm Luke and this is parkour. I like the movement and freedom you can do with your own style and moves. So you can come down to Puke Gymsport, but you can also do it wherever in the street apart from the police building.
I had spinal surgery, but I still loved being in the gym, so now I coach it.
This slide is actually for the Mayor of Tauranga. As our club has grown, we now bring people of all ages from outside of Te Puke. They're travelling between 10 and 50 minutes to actually come to see us each week.
And so where is Jocelyn in all of this? She's our Vice Club President, steps in to help and support at any time, and is coaching her granddaughter. This picture is Jocelyn and Jade, another committee member, picking up the 2017 Westpac Business Award for Social Enterprise.
Our volunteers say they've learnt so many skills along the way. The club has now once again outgrown its building, and now it's ready to go for its next $4 million goal. A permanent home to grow. With population growth, new events in the region, we will create an evolving hub for our community, supporting other local Gymsport clubs.
We want to do more programs like Pilates, yoga and dance, plus movement programs for elderly people and movement development programs for other sports.
A place for everyone.
Our community will benefit in so many ways, but most importantly, it will bring together the current volunteers and encourage others to get involved. Our volunteers will also get the chance to learn skills like developing a building, major fundraising and increased marketing. Our volunteers are our roots and we could not survive without them. Our greatest volunteer would like to share her experience with you.
I just love to see the kids having fun, developing, keeping fit. It's just such a great sport and keeps the kids really fit and their friendships develop. Our club is a really close-knit little community and the kids just love the environment. Gymnastics is for life. The benefits of gymnastics stay with you for life. You're never too young or too old for gymnastics.
For 64 years, thousands of people have gone through our club with multiple generations involved. In fact, almost every family in our town has actually been involved at some stage. All of our volunteers will keep Jocelyn's dream alive.
Thank you for listening, and if anyone wants to learn a cartwheel, come and see Sarah afterwards. Thank you.